Hello guys, and thank you for clicking on another one of my videos. Today's video is... well, technically it's not today's, I've done this key 8... well actually yeah, I've done the key 8 days ago, but it is today's video, so technically yeah, today's video is about... it's not about, it's Sanguine Death 16 that we have lost to with bugs, and when I say we, I mean me and Frostmage in the group, Mr. Burken. Maybe you remember him from other videos as well. To be honest, a lot of pushed keys that I've timed with him, so shout out to him. He also has a YouTube, just Google, I mean don't Google, YouTube it or Bing it, Burken, and he also has a channel. He's a really good Frostmage, so definitely worth it. But anyway, it was a pretty smooth video. I'll say the biggest challenge for me in this one was, at this point I am 214 eye level, I have a legendary, so gear is not really any sort of excuse, even though my stats here are not the greatest. I still lack a lot of haste at this point, and I have a lot of mastery. Like you ideally don't really want almost any mastery for M+, but you know, I got items, and you know, as always, at the moment I feel like eye level is the biggest upgrade you can get, simply because primary stats mean too much in the current patch. But obviously, you know, it's no excuse. Like, you can time this key with 200 eye level just the same, I'm pretty sure, if you're playing well enough and if your group is good enough. But yeah, I wanted to say the gear is not an excuse, and I personally have become a better player on Paladin by this point. I'll still do some mistakes, as you've seen one just a moment ago, you know. The biggest challenge for me as a player who transitioned from playing a ranged healer to a melee healer, and I feel like I babble on about this every single key, but I just want to mention it because it really has been the biggest issue, is always, you know, melee. And in a lot of keys, really playing melee is just a tiny adjustment, whereas you have to stay close to the pack and hit, as opposed to just being wherever you feel like being and casting. It's just that natural, you know, difficulty of being melee versus ranged, which is why, you know, ranged I feel like is heavily favored at the moment. So basically, yeah, I tell guys to you know, save CDs for the boss. I didn't mean save it on this pack. This pack, you have to obliterate this pack on a Fortified week. This pack is extremely dangerous, and I like don't underestimate this pack, especially not on Fortified. But yeah, like I feel like at this point I've gotten a little bit better at being a melee player. I still, like, SD is one of those keys. Like in some keys it doesn't matter whether you're melee or ranged, because there's not that many mechanics that are dangerous to melee that don't exist for ranged. But in this key in particular, and here I made a mistake. Like you might have noticed, I said I'll handle Pride, but we got here sooner than I expected, and I end up not having my Ashen Hollow. So I had to pop Holy Avenger, because the transition into Pride was very scary. And with Holy Avenger, you don't wanna pop Holy Avenger at start of Pride. You wanna save it for the later portions of the Pride, because that is where things get dangerous. Luckily, I get a wing proc, if I'm not mistaken, so that helps a lot. And we go into the boss with Ashen Hollow, which is nice. To be honest, I think I could have gotten away with using Ashen Hollow on the first pull of this key as well. I think that was something I could have done. Here I bop this guy. We aren't communicating as a team. Like, I'm only on Discord with Burken, and so if you know, if he knew, he probably would have, you know, stayed away. But luckily we don't actually take that much damage there. I'm not sure why, but that ends up working out very nicely. So, and you know, together with my deeps here, you can see I did like what 7k. really good for a healer, and you know, Ashen Hollow with Pride and Wings really helped us push that boss really fast, so we basically skipped any major mechanics, and guys popped off as well. Like, GG to my team, they really were like pretty heavy on the damage side, and to some degree have made this key incredibly smoother. Like, you also pay attention, like you're thinking, oh, Sanguine, oh no, you don't want to be a melee in Sanguine. And also, to make things even spicier, Spiteful weak, yikes. But pay attention how this warrior, the dude just almost never got hit by anything. I mean, that's a sign of a really good player. And by the way, guys, don't sleep on Fury Warriors. Good Fury Warrior will top your overall DPS meters in a key. Like, maybe not top, but they'll definitely more than pull their weight, and they also bring a lot of good utility, such as Rally Cry, Fear, Spell Reflect, Stuns. They're just a lot of sustained cleave, so as opposed to other classes that have bursty cleave, Fury Warrior will help you push each and every single pull, which is good, in my opinion. It's obviously burst is good as well if you know how to use it. But the thing is, with a burst, if you fuck up your burst phase, you are in trouble. Whereas Fury, you know, like, obviously they have their cities too, it's not like they don't, but they're much less reliant on them, and yeah. And here I get decursed, I believe. Broken decursed me here. But yeah, this pack, like, I feel like this pack is all about killing it quickly. It's a very scary pack, it can be. On Fortified weeks, luckily we dealt with it pretty nicely. This guy pulls patrol here. I feel like usually people don't really do this. I could be wrong, but this is his route, and you know, obviously I think this guy was pretty high Raya, so you know, we believed in what he's doing. I personally am used to skipping that bridge most of my keys, but it's arguably that's like maybe even a loss of time. I don't know, it all depends, because like what can happen is if you skip and you die, it gets really scary. And also here we pop Lantern, and also it's not just that, it's also that here you can get the buff and you can also get Prideful, and together with those two, you know, you don't want to be wasting time using Invis, you want to go, so no, actually I'm talking gibberish right now. Like, you don't get both, you get only this, you get this buff to kill Pride, and then like by the time you kill Pride the buff expires. But anyway, you get my point. Like, you don't want to be using Pride time to skip. I mean, you definitely can, it's just not super worth it. And here once again I don't have Ashen Hollow for the Pride, so guys pop off. You can see both Boomy and Frost Mage, they deal decent amount of damage, but I think the pull kinda combined with the previous pull. And luckily this guy here, he does a big pull, and I pop Ashen Hollow. And I feel like this is one of the things that really saved us a lot of time. This is a scary pull, by the way, don't underestimate this room, especially when we pulled extra pack. It's a really good pull, but it's also really scary. This tornado will one-shot you, or bring you low enough that you're one-shottable by anything else. And it also obviously kicks you, so you know, you lose your cast. So overall, just pay attention. It's really hard to see when there's a lot of mobs. And it's a tiny room, same as with whole Sanguine depths. I have no idea why Blizzard did this to us, but the camera angles are atrocious. They are horrible. Like, as if this key wasn't the hardest key. On top of that, we have to deal with this shitty camera, and I don't know what's the deal with that. I personally don't like it one bit. I get that it adds like a layer of maybe RP, not even RP, it's more like, you know, it's supposed to mimic whatever this is, like a jail, a castle or whatever, and it's supposed to feel tight, but like, come on, you know. It's really hard to see sometimes, and it's annoying because there's a lot of things to see here. So coming back to my previous point that I skipped is also like I mentioned, for me, and this was a bit of ballsy from me. I luckily had enough space there, but I didn't have time to run to the left, so I ran right, and luckily I found a small gap where I'm safe. Don't get hit by this, it's embarrassing and it's unnecessary. Oh yeah, also one thing I forgot to mention, this is a pre-nerf, by the way. This is Sanguine Depths pre-nerf. When this week ended, Blizzard rolled out a pretty big nerf, although in my opinion they nerfed completely things that didn't really need nerf, in my opinion, but you know, let's agree to disagree. I see a lot of people are happy about the nerf, and I understand that this key is hard, but it's just like, you know, they didn't nerf the things that were problematic in my opinion. Oh, and here I die, I remember this was so unlucky. Like I port just on the edge of this, and I port into it, and I kind of like, I'm looking around, I thought I'm safe, and I just die. And two deaths so far, both me. Yeah, a bit of a yikes. So yeah, here I'm just running, but yeah, this is a good opportunity to say what I wanted. And so, as I said, there's a challenge for me, you know, switching to like a melee healer. I mean switching, not switching, but playing melee healer, somebody who started on a ranged and learned the keys as a ranged, was always like noticing and paying attention to these mechanics that happen in melee, and fuck, there is a lot of them, dude, on Sanguine Depths. There is a lot of them. You really have to be careful, especially Fortified weeks. Most things will one-shot you. There are a bunch of frontals, there is a bunch of swirlies, there's a bunch of patrols. You just have to be very careful. But you can see like here's kind of like a shows how good this group is, honestly. Like I could have played much worse than this and we still would have timed this key. Maybe we wouldn't plus do it, but we still would have timed it. And here you can use Hand of Freedom for the trap. It's pretty nice. I think, don't quote me on this, I have yet to test it, but I think you can also bop it. I'm not sure though, don't quote me on this, please. I could be entirely wrong. I got a feeling that it's physical. So, and here I'm trying to stun him, but I didn't notice that I don't have stun. I don't know why I didn't run away there. I feel like that was kind of weird. I probably should have run away instead of staying there. And here we pull. I'm not sure if we wanted this pull, but an accidental body pull happens, but it ends up being nice, you know, like a nice chain pull. Doesn't fuck up our percentage, and it's, you know, it's perfectly fine. Happens to the best of us. And then let me see where we go here. I'm assuming we'll continue going forward, or in this case backwards. Yeah. And as you guys know, this boss is quite something. Don't get me started on this boss. Advice if you're playing healer is, for me, on this one, is reposition. Depending on your comp, use your brain where you can stand without causing issues. And here, one bad thing about us going into this fight is I do not have bubble, and bubble can come in clutch here because it can neglect one of the, what do you call them, castigations or whatever, like those debuffs. So that's a pretty big deal. It's actually really humongous. You really want to have bubble for this boss, but it is what it is. I don't have it. I actually don't. Do I get Ashen Hollow? Yeah, I don't have it in start, but I'll think I'll get it. I vaguely remember using Ashen Hollow here. Like, it's been a week, so forgive me for not perfectly remembering everything. I did rewatch the video at some point, but I can't. Yeah, I think I use it. Yeah, there's no way I don't use it. Yeah, okay. So we go in. And here I panic a bit, not gonna lie. Luckily I somehow don't get debuff. I don't know why. And here it is, the castigation. It's a scary spell, but warrior spell reflects it. He's a fucking boss. And here I pop Ashen Hollow. Honestly, I could have maybe waited a bit, but like Ashen Hollow carries us so hard here at the moment. And Birkin is, you know, we were chatting on Discord. I was distracting him, so he forgets fucking Bloodlust. That's okay though. We pop it, we start blasting. And I don't dodge there, surprisingly. I felt like that was a dodge, but it wasn't. And here, don't forget, like, focus on this fucking ad. Like, no matter what, just focus on the fucking ad. And save, like, if you're a Holy Pala, pull your Holy Light for the moment where there's an overlap with Castigate and the ad. You can save Aura Mastery for the ad when there's movement. There's a lot of things you can do. Just make sure you and your guys, you understand how this boss works perfectly and don't fuck it up. Like, it's not that hard of a boss, honestly. That boss, it looks scariest, but it's not. Like, you just have to watch. Like, if you guys are bad at being aware or something like that, like, you can assign your tank. Maybe tanks usually have, you know, a little bit of more freedom to watch shit. Like, tell him to call out where the ball is coming from. Stuff like that, you know, like, help each other out. Just move together, move as a unit, and then the person with the Castigate should, if you have 2 ranged, 1 melee, like we do, well, actually we have 2 melee, right, because I'm melee as well. So if you have 2 ranged, 1 melee, well, actually, let's count healer as a DPS in this case, positioning wise, you know, for the sake of discussion. So, like, if you would have 3 ranged and 1 melee, then melee can stay. Just make sure he is not overlapping with Castigate on the boss. But if you are melee healer, like I am in this case, and you have a melee DPS and they get Castigate, I think you should be the one that moves, unless there's overwhelming amount of healing that needs to be done soon, in which case you would rather stay there and pull resources while he moves. So yeah, just think about it, you know, or be good as this guy is. Use your spell reflect, use your I don't know, if you're a rogue, use your cloaks, use your vanishes, whatever helps you survive. I honestly don't know. Like, paladins have bubble, monks, I don't know what they have, but, like, you know, make sure you live there. Don't put extra pressure on your healer, because this fight is like the debuff just slaps you, and this is non-tyrannical. In non-tyrannical, I think it kills you in like 2 or 3 ticks. Like, it's just like super fucking nasty. It's a scary dungeon. It's a scary dungeon overall. This dungeon, in my opinion, is just way overtuned on everything, and is clearly harder than every other dungeon. Like, no discussion. Like, and it's not even about the mechanics. It's just about numbers, you know. Like, the numbers in this dungeon are just bigger than they are in other dungeons for no apparent reason. Like, you know, usually if something hits very hard, you want to make it dodgeable, right? You don't want to, you don't want to make one shot undodgeable spells. That's bad. That's kind of stupid, you know, game design. But I feel like in SD, there's like almost one-shot mechanics that are barely or not dodgeable at all. Like, for example, this boss is a perfect example of what I just talked about. It's a scary boss. It's a very scary boss. And I don't know, one advice I can give here on Priest. It's really hard to kill this boss. You just have to, the key to beating this boss, I feel like, reliably. And here I just bubble and Ashen Hollow, because I felt like I was losing ground, and I just decided bubble Ashen Hollow and go for burst. Like, we need to get her down ASAP. But on Priest, like, I would save Dome and Rupture. Obviously, you Rupture first. The Right of Supremacy or whatever the fuck it's called. Everybody make sure you pick up like as much balls as you can. Obviously spread them. And then if you have somebody who has immunity, don't pick balls. Leave balls to your friends. Leave balls to your friends if you have immunity, please. Don't be that guy. Leave them, pop your immune, live, and let others pick up extra balls. So healers can, you know, breathe. And here we're in a good spot. Like, at this point we're in a good spot here. Obviously, I mean, the boss is almost dead before she even gets something, but we still would have been fine. Like, you can see, use Aura Master, use sack. Like, have one guy immune, sack the other guy. Then next pull pop or a mastery. Then next pool pop your, you know, like so the one AoE you use like I did, like I don't know, bubble, lash and hollow or whatever. I bubbled early there because I panicked, but you can time your bubble better, you know, in time for damage, and that way you would get more value out of it, obviously, because you would use it to mitigate, you know, the damage you take, so you can focus on healing others. And then on the next pool you can, like, you know, as I said, like one guy immunes, the other one pops defensive, you give sack to the third one, you know, like it's just figure it out with your team. I'm sorry, but in this boss you really need to be like a little bit coordinated, and you need to rely on your guys having common sense on a bit higher keys. Obviously on like 14s, 15s, I don't think it matters as much. This is a 16, so it's not that much harder, which is why we, you know, we got away just barely, even though we didn't play super optimal. But that boss is very scary. Do not underestimate that boss. And here, if I remember correctly, something bad sort of happens. You'll see. You'll see. I'm not gonna spoil, but yeah. Yeah, going into Gauntlet as a healer, just make sure you got mana. Here we have Pride, so that's not an issue. But on disc, a very big deal for me was learning to fucking get mana before going into Gauntlet. Because if you go here without full mana as a disc, you're not gonna make it out of this. Especially not on a Fortified wing, but even in on non-Fortified. We discs were crippled with mana usage, so just be very aware of that. And if you're a Holy Paladin, obviously mana is not really, you don't even know what mana is, I think, in this patch. Like I the only time I've managed to run out of mana on Paladin was in PvP. Like if they, you know, if they don't kill me for too long and I just get to spam spells, and you know, it's just, you know, PvP is different, so let's not talk about it. Just don't worry about mana as a Holy Paladin. As a disc priest, you really do want to be worried about mana for sure. So just in general as a healer, be aware of your mana when you go into Gauntlet, because once you start it, you're in combat, so there's no drinking for you. And here shit goes south. This was very scary. I'm not really sure what happened exactly that caused us to do, you know, go into chaos here. But yeah, here I died to a combination of Dot and Spirit, and I'm thinking whether to release here, and then Warrior dies as well. So honestly, at that point, if both of us got battle reses, we actually had it, and I think it would be fine. Oh wait, Druid died earlier and he released. Right, yeah, okay, so there was no salvaging there. We fucked up, and that's it. We had to redo. And we don't have potions here, so we're going to, you know, we just discuss here a little bit what is the best course of action, and obviously the conclusion is there's no way around it. So this is, for example, one of the times when having a rogue, I mean, not one of the times, I always praise rogues. I love rogues. Rogues are great, they bring great utility, great damage. But here's, for example, when I wish I had a rogue instead of warrior. I'm sorry, warrior. But it would be nice, you know, because we would have been able to just shroud, or initially we would shroud and then here we would pot, so we would be fine. If this happens, like, obviously in this key we still have a lot of time. We're told, if, like, you can see, like, we were almost on course to +3 this, like, at this point. If we didn't wipe there, and if we played certain parts just a bit cleaner, we actually had a +3 there. It's been a while since I +3 the key, so that tells you something. But yeah, we go into this pool. This pool is really difficult. You really want to be like, Sentinels are usually single pool, and here we have Overseer as well together with one of the, what do you call them? I don't know what his guys are called that go with a Overseer, but they're annoying. They're casting, so it's, you know, they're nasty. And here we gotta dodge a lot of things to dodge. Luckily we get like a decent RNG that gives us a lot of space to go to. And here, warrior gets hit. Like, cause I say that because like it's not no shame that he got hit there. I'm just saying that because I praised him earlier how he barely got hit the whole dungeon, and here's one of the rare instances where he does get hit and actually ends up dying. And here, tank line of sights me, and he gets a bit angry at me. I think I'm not sure if he's in the wrong or I am there. I ran from chains, you know, so I had to run. Maybe I should have ran with him. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'll leave it up to you guys to judge. I don't think I made a mistake. I don't think he made a mistake either. I think it was just unfortunate and ended up not being too big of a deal. But in general, I don't think as a tank you should ever line of sight your healer. Like, if you plan to line of sight your healer, then at least make sure that he's not, you know, he's able to follow you. And in that case, I wasn't able to. Or make sure that you're fine on your own, you know, you have a big CD to pop and, you know, you won't be needing it later and stuff like that. But it's fine, like, I mean, this key's been going so smoothly, so... I remember I was talking with Burke on Discord at this point and we were like, just don't respond, because I think he typed healer, question mark, my favorite thing ever. I hate when people do that. It doesn't matter, like, don't let these things get to you. People get very hyped and excited about these keys, understandably so. I am as well. I love M+, it's super fun, it's super, you know, the rush, the excitement is there, man. You just want to time the key, you know, you feel so good when you do it, and it's like, you know, it feels good, you know, especially when you're pushing a key. And I mean, for these guys, I don't think this key is a push. I think only for me this key was a push, and on Pala, on this guy I already have 16, I'm pretty sure, maybe even 17. I know I almost timed 18 with Birkin like a month ago on disc, so it's not a big deal, like, you know, don't get me wrong, but it's just like unnecessary arguments and fightings are not gonna help you in any way. And because we stayed calm, we figured out another solution. We'll kill one pack here and then we're gonna pot, and here we're just, you know, talking, and these guys are actually being toxic. He says mage is autopilot. Like, what they wanted to do, I actually remember this, we were talking about this, like, they wanted to use lantern, and Birkin was like, no, fuck lantern, you know, I have CDs running, I wanna go. And again, it sparks a little bit of argument. You know, whether it's more worth it for one guy to have his CDs up, that, you know, because his CDs keep going as long as he's fighting, or if it's more worth it for the group to get the buff. In this particular case, I think Birkin was in the right. I think we shouldn't have waited at the lantern. Like, we even went back to lantern to wait for 2 dogs. I feel like it's completely unnecessary. That buff doesn't really think it's worth it, to be honest. Maybe unless you're like trying to do some mega giga big brain strat, but I don't think so. Anyway, either way, we proceed. Another difficult pull. Be careful here with the sentinel and skirmishers. There's a lot of frontals there, and then ghosts. Here I do blind, but they break blind, and it gets spicy again. Luckily this guy notices that he's following me. Oh, that's Birkin. Yeah, he noticed he's following me. It was literally like he was trying to hit me. But yeah, here we, you know, we figured out we'll end his potion after this. And like, the scary thing about not being on Discord is you never know who has invis, who doesn't. Like, I don't know if there is a weak aura for like potion CD. If there is, let me know, because I want to get it, because I actually think it's very important. Luckily, like, not everybody needs a potion to be invis in this group, so like, it's only 3 of us, the druid and mage, they can invis free will. Like, in M+, I actually think playing invis class is a big deal. And anyway, like, we're going to boss. I intentionally saved Ashen Hollow here for the boss, because I felt like we were fine on the Pride. I wanted to blast this boss fast. You will see later. I've done some hierarchies than this. I will upload them when I get the time to do so. To do commentary as well. Like, just uploading them isn't the problem. It's about, you know, I want to do commentary for them as well. I've been having a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you guys did too. And I feel like there's more value to these videos if I do a voiceover, and also for me, like commentary, and also for me personally, also more value because I get to review this footage in more detail and like get better as a result of that. And here I failed to dodge this. I bop a Birkin and we just finish the guy. Pretty smooth, pretty clean. Really well done dungeon. As a terrifying beast of a dungeon, but we managed to +2 it on 16, and I was pretty proud of my gameplay here. This was one of the first keys I genuinely pushed on Holy Paladin. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you know, let me know what you think. You know, like, comment, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazz. And I hope to see you around, you know, for the next video. Bye. Have a good day.